In Nebraska, the silence is different. It's heavy. It has weight. When David stepped out of his rental car, the only thing he could see for miles was corn. Endless yellow-brown stalks of dry corn rustling in the wind. This was the property his grandfather had left him, a rotting farmhouse in the middle of an ocean of crops. The lawyer had given him one strange warning. Whatever you do, don't clear the west field. Leave the post standing. David, a city boy from Chicago, laughed it off. He was here to renovate, sell, and leave. On the second day, David found the post in the west field. It wasn't just a post, it was a scarecrow, but unlike any he had ever seen. It wasn't stuffed with straw. It was wrapped in thick, rusted barbed wire. The clothes were ancient burlap, stained dark, almost like dried blood. And the head? The head was a dried pig skull wired tightly to the wooden cross. It looked hideous. It ruined the view of the sunset. Ignoring the lawyer's warning, David grabbed a pair of wire cutters. Snip. The wire was tough, but it gave way. Snip. The pig skull fell into the dirt with a dull thud. Snip. The scarecrow collapsed. The moment the wood hit the ground, the wind stopped. Completely. The rustling of the corn ceased. The air turned stagnant and smelled distinctly of wet earth and rotting meat. David shrugged, wiped his hands, and went back to the house. That night, the sounds began. At 2 a.m., David woke, not to silence, but to a sound like sandpaper on glass. Scritch, scratch, scritch. It was coming from the porch. He grabbed a flashlight and looked outside. The beam cut through the darkness. Nothing, just the cornfields swaying violently, even though there was no wind. The next morning, the corn in the west field had changed. The stalks were no longer yellow. They were black, oozing a thick, tar-like substance, and they had moved. David rubbed his eyes. The edge of the cornfield had been 50 yards from the house yesterday. Today, it was 30 yards away. "It's just the light," he muttered, trying to keep his composure. He spent the day fixing the roof, but he felt eyes on him. Thousands of eyes from the stalks. By sunset, he heard it. A whispering sound. It wasn't human. It sounded like dry leaves rubbing together to form words. "We are hungry." David locked every door. He nailed boards over the windows. He grabbed his grandfather's old shotgun from the mantel. Night fell. The scratching returned, louder this time. It wasn't just on the porch. It was on the walls, on the roof, under the floorboards. Scritch, scratch, thump. Then the window shattered. David fired the shotgun blindly into the dark. Boom! The flash illuminated the intruder. It wasn't a monster. It was the corn. Thick black roots were slithering through the broken window like snakes. They weren't seeking light. They were seeking heat. They were seeking life. David ran to the kitchen, but the back door burst open. The corn stalks poured in, twisting and knotting together to form a shape, a humanoid shape. It looked like the scarecrow he had cut down, but this one was alive, made of writhing roots and black rot. "Why?" David screamed, backing into a corner. The figure didn't speak. It just pointed to the west field. David realized then. The scarecrow with the barbed wire and the pig skull, it wasn't a decoration. It was a seal, a lock, and he had broken it. The roots wrapped around David's ankles. He screamed as they dragged him across the floor, out the door, and into the dirt. He was dragged deep into the west field. The soil here was soft, churning like water. The black stalks parted to reveal a hole in the earth, a gaping mouth that smelled of centuries of decay. As David was pulled into the darkness, he saw something rising from the dirt to take his place. Wooden beams, barbed wire. The corn didn't just want to eat, It wanted a replacement. 2 weeks later, the real estate agent arrived to check on the property. David was gone. The car was there, but the house was empty. The agent walked out to the west field. He noticed the corn looked healthy again, tall and yellow. And there, standing in the center, was a new scarecrow. It was wrapped in fresh barbed wire. The clothes looked like a modern flannel shirt and jeans. And the face? Underneath the burlap sack, the face looked terrified, frozen in a silent scream. The agent shivered, turned around, and left. He didn't notice that as he walked away, the scarecrow's head slowly turned to watch him go.
The story ends here, but the fear remains. If you want to survive the night, hit that subscribe button. And remember, don't look under your bed tonight.